We actually had a record-breaking month last month. It's just essentially show you how we went from the initial startup of the car wash to a point now where we're turning over 81,000 inclusive of GST, netting out $47,000 in 1 month. Woo. And welcome to this week's vlog. Let's take you through the car wash. So I'm going to run through everything so you can learn the whole ins and outs, and I'll take you through last month's so you can get to see all the numbers. I'll also run you through what we've sort of done at this car wash to sort of get it what it's at, and hopefully get you guys some tips on, you know, little things, little 1%ers that you guys can do in your own businesses, even in your own jobs, that can help improve, I guess, total revenue and profit. So let's do this. Come with me. So when we took over this laser wash, so we bought it in 2021 in May, so it's sort of in the middle of COVID. Actually bought it a week after I bought Point Cook Snap Fitness. Didn't have any money, just bought it sight on inspection. Funny story, I actually went and purchased another one maybe about 10 minutes away from here, and then after I left that one, I sort of went back online and found this one and ended up buying 2 in one day, and so had to renege on the first one and just had a better feeling about this car wash. I thought it had a lot more potential. It was a lot bigger space, a lot busier road. The other car wash that we bought was kind of at the back of a petrol station. We bought it for $305,000. There was a $66,000 bond as well, so $305,000 plus $66,000, but it definitely wasn't making money. So I guess the catch was with this one was that it had to be paid all cash, so we needed close to $400,000 in cash, including the first month's rent, was the initial investment. Basically, the whole thing needed to be replaced. We kind of learned the hard way. We sort of slowly went through and replaced everything, and I would say probably maybe 12 months ago is when everything was kind of done. So the first thing we did was, I will show what this used to look like. This garden now looks phenomenal, and I think presentation kind of, you know, I don't want to go in to wash my car if a car wash is not looking clean and presentable. So we went through here. I actually hired my next door neighbour, who was like an award-winning landscaper at the time. You can see there's quite a lot of plants, but I think we spent close to $80,000 on the landscaping. So I'll put up some older photos so you guys can see. But and now, you know, we just had this maintained yesterday. We just spent $1,000 yesterday to have the garden, but you know, the garden looks phenomenal, and I think if I'm entering a car wash, I want it to be looking great. So once that initial landscaping was done, we went through and painted the whole place, repainted it. I was lucky enough to be working at Ink on Paper at that time, a signage company. So we went through and did all new signage, new signage, redid all the branding and sort of rebranded everything. And again, just helped it made it presentable. I think that was probably cost price. That would have been about another $20,000. As I said, I at that stage owned a large format printing company, so I was lucky enough to be able to put that one through the company. But I'd suggest if someone was paying full retail, it'd probably be $20,000 or $30,000. This was owned by a really nice Chinese guy, but he had put in an imitation laser machine, and it caused us a lot of issues, to be honest. Initially, through the first sort of 2 years of this business, it caused me a lot of heartache, to be honest. And I really questioned whether this was kind of a business I wanted to be involved in. But after 2 years, we borrowed through private equity at a very high interest rate, 12%, and borrowed $450,000. So quite a substantial amount. I think we were paying maybe $12,000 a month initially for this brand new laser wash. And that's kind of when this car wash really turned a corner. So $450,000 that we loaned. And that really took a lot of headaches away. So as you can see, this is a project we've been working on for probably about 12 months. So a bit of a funny story. We did trial hand car washing and detailing here in Bay 4, and it actually did really well, but the guy we partnered up with, unfortunately, kind of got a bad back, and I guess didn't want to be on the tools as much, so it stopped working. But we actually did get a similar sort of shipping container to this, spent $20,000 on a shipping container, installed it, and then within a week the council came in and told us that we weren't allowed to have it. So we then began talks with the guys at Rock Up Coffee, maybe about 2 years ago. They wanted to install a drive-through coffee here, which we thought was a great idea. Really works in unison with what we do. People obviously come here, then they can get a cold drink or a coffee in the morning. And they ended up taking, I think, close to 12, maybe even 18, 24 months to get the permit from the council. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the car wash. As you can see now, she's pretty busy. And I expect for the next sort of 3 or 4 months she will be. But to the left here, you have the brand new Laser Wash 360. So this is really popular in Australia, really well-known, reputable brand. So I think when people see Laser Wash 360, they just kind of know what they're going to get. So then we've got 4 self-serve bays here, as you can see, all full, and they will all continue to be full throughout the whole day. In these self-serve bays, he's got all new timers, all new tri-colours, and then also all the walls. So you can see all the walls in the bay are all been replaced. That's all brand new. It's all been repainted, all very well maintained. And then of course I'm standing here in the vac bay. So 4 vacs. We actually cleared out the back area, which I'll show you around here. So this, I didn't actually show this earlier, but this is the landscaping as well that follows through from the front. I think the guys did a really good job, sort of low maintenance job. They've done really well. And then, so people drive in here. Through this back area here, you've got the drive-through coffee. And then of course, like I said, the biggest benefit here is just the volume of space we have here that people can sort of line up and do works. But yeah, it's a really well positioned car wash on Whitehorse Road, very busy road. Yeah, happy days. What I'm going to do, which is obviously pretty transparent, I don't know how many people do this, but is just essentially show you how we went from the initial startup of the car wash to a point now where we're turning over 81,000 inclusive of GST, netting out $47,000 in 1 month. This is the P&L. I'm going to run it through on the screen. So initial purchase, which I ran through, was 305,000. Bond was, I think it's about 60,000. So this was the initial costs to purchase, plus the first month's rent. So each month's rent is about 16,000 inclusive of GST. So these are kind of the first things that we had to pay up front. Now, keeping in mind, I bought this during COVID when this is in the middle of a pandemic where people's confidence weren't high and people were panicking. And to be honest, I didn't even know what was going to happen. So I don't think nowadays you would be able to buy a car wash for 305,000, but if you do, good luck to you. I'm on the hunt. Let me know if you find it because I'll buy it too. At this stage, when I bought it in May 2021, average turnover 26 to max 30,000 a month. Let me just say this was probably making 2 or 3 grand. How did I go from that to go from 2025 December, averaging now, average turnover is now close to say 58,000. But then in December 2025, we turned over, inclusive of GST, we turned over 81,000 with a profit of 47,000. So obviously a huge difference to go from May 2021 making 2 or 3 grand a month to, December 2025. First thing I'm going to say is time. Like I said to everyone, you have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's one of the first things that I say to everyone is you need to hang in there and stay consistent. So that's probably the main thing I did. Second thing is reinvest. So from all these costs, we know that I spent 70,000 roughly on landscaping, about 400K for a new laser wash. Banks wouldn't loan to me at this stage, so I did that at a private equity high interest. It was risky, but it worked out. I've now refinanced that with Judo and have a much better deal. 80K through Shift, and that was basically replacing vacuum cleaners, timers, repainted. I spent probably another 20K on signage. That's the second thing, reinvest. Probably the biggest thing I learned through this period was that there is no such thing as having a passive income. You must have someone that's invested in the business that looks after the car wash. Now, I would say Tristan came on board July 2024. He bought 50% of this business off me. He is incredibly handy. He likes figuring out how to fix things. Tristan goes to the car wash every day. If the vacuum's blocked, if one of the timers don't work, one of the bays don't work, he's constantly cleaning, fixing. It may only be 2 or 3 hours a day that Tristan goes there. That consistency of having everything working, because previously when we bought it, there was always something out of order. Now, if you have a car wash or a gym or any type of business that has something out of order, people lose trust. And I think in this period of 4 years building it, people started noticing these guys are fixing up. They're doing the landscaping, they're replacing the timers, they're adding in tricolor. Tristan's there every day fixing things. There's people with issues, he's talking to them. I think what's happened over that time is that we've built a lot of trust. People can see we're reinvesting back into the business and we're maintaining it. Your third thing, you definitely need that. What does it look like in terms of overheads? Rent is about 16,000. Chemicals is about 4,000. Say water and electricity is about per month, maybe about 3,000. And then you probably put another 3 to 5 in miscellaneous costs. If something breaks down, if there's repairs and maintenance, you never know. I would say if you bank on average, 30K overheads a month. So the worst month that we had last financial year was in November last year, believe it or not, where it was just raining every day, was 46,000. So the worst month we had, you can see, was about a $16,000 profit. Now, the best month we had was last month. We turned over 81,000, I think 372 or something, and that spat out that profit, $47,000. Now, the biggest thing that I flex is not necessarily the profit, because yes, business is great, and the main thing with being in business is earning money. But I guess the biggest flex that I have with this business is Tristan was one of my best mates. We've been best mates for years and years and years. He was working full time. It was really important for me to sort of get a balance. He's got a young daughter that I wanted him to, you know, get out of the matrix as such and spend more time with his daughter. Now, I know even like yesterday and today, he's not at the car wash. He's spending both days with his daughter. That's the whole flex. The flex is that Tristan goes there. He's out of full-time work now. He has flexibility where we play golf more, we hang out more. That's the flex, and that's the goal, I think, with sort of everything that I do. It's not necessarily this business. It's sort of giving you the freedom to go out and spend more time with your kids and your wife and your loved ones, and still make good money. So that's the car wash business. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If there's any questions, shoot me a message. Let me know what you think of this episode. Something a little bit different, but hopefully you guys can get some value in it. And if it's not a car wash, but if it's any of your businesses, I think the 3 things that I mentioned, you can take something from there, particularly, you know, reinvesting back in your business and being patient and staying consistent. So enjoy, and I'll see you for the next episode.